Right, we've come to the end of a long series of videos that we've done on how to be a slimmer, healthier, happier you. Sugar diabetes, pre-diabetes, obesity, these are all parts of the same syndrome. Inflammatory diseases, they're all part of the same thing, things that we are doing to ourselves by what we put in. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. That's where it starts. And we need to sort out what you should eat and when you should eat it. That's the most important. What you should eat and when you should eat it, and how you should run your life. Then you're there. It's as simple as that. So we base it in science. There's been lots of science done on this, and we now sort of have an understanding, a better understanding of how to do it better. Try and clear your mind of all the preconceived stuff, open it up, and we go back to basics. We go back to how Paleo Man did it, what was available at the time, and try and correlate that to our lives, and base it in science. So the acronym is LESS is more, LESS. Less is more. It's easy to remember. L stands for low carb, high fat diet. Low carb, high fat diet. That means no sugars, more fats, more saturated fats, more proteins. That's very, very, very important. Carbs, basically, first switch off your GPS. Fruits, grains, potatoes, sugar needs to go. Buy yourself a vape. Butter rather than oil and margarine. Veggies that grow above the ground, all the green leafy vegetables, the good things that your grandmother said you must eat. Avo, nuts, cheese, those things high in saturated fats, good for you, very good for you. Expensive nuts, unfortunately, not peanuts, because they grow below the ground. And proteins, of course, fish, really fatty fish is very important. Chicken is very important. Meat, even meat with a little bit of fat on the end, really good for you. And eggs, of course. Eggs are overrated. Eggs are overrated, and we demonize eggs. Everything has come and gone and come and gone. At the end of the day, eggs are good for you. So let's just go there. So proteins are good for you. Eggs are good for you. And the green leafy vegetables are good for you. So low carb, high fat diet, that's the way to go. Boom. That's the first thing. E stands for squashing up your eating window. We've learned that you mustn't starve, you must fast. Starvation mode lowers your metabolism, increases your insulin, deposits more and more fat. Really difficult to lose weight on just lowering your calories. It's all about squashing up your eating window. So you need to, your metabolism needs to be increased. Your adrenaline needs to be increased. All these things are natural processes that get increased by fasting. And fasting is black butter coffee, black butter tea, and water only. That's it. That's all you need to do. So cheap, so easy. No money to be lost. Just squash up your eating window. Initially 16-8, in other words, 16 hours of fasting, only 8 hours of eating. If you want to cheat, cheat in your window. Don't cheat here. Keep the fasting going, because there's beautiful, beautiful metabolic things that are happening at 16 hours, at 12 hours. And if you can tap into that for as long as possible, there's magic. If you can push on to OMAD, 1 meal a day, and beyond OMAD and into autophagy, where you start using dead, dying, and abnormal cells as food, the ultimate recycle. These are things you can tap into with no drugs, nothing fancy, using your natural processes. Just squash up your eating window. So low carb, high fat diet, squash up your eating window. S, stress. The first S is about stress. Stress is cortisol. So a constant form of fright or flight, which is what our modern lives do. Engaged all the time, I mean, there's just so many stresses all the time. We never reboot, we never reset, and that is cortisol. Cortisol is a badass hormone. It's good in the short term because it really gives you a lot of glucose, but it's indiscriminate. It goes and fetches muscle, it goes and fetches bone, it goes and messes with your head, it messes with the immune system chronically. So don't go there. Don't go there. Try and break that stress cycle. Cortisol needs to go. It's an imposter. So it's good in the short term, but long term, that's out. You all say, we're going to lose muscle when we fast. You don't. You lose muscle when you starve. So fasting is what it's all about, not starving, not just calories in, calories out. That's not the way it works. And then the exercise sort of works with that. It's an E that falls between E and S of less. Exercise, relatively overrated, I must say. It's not the mainstay of everything. It certainly isn't. You are what you eat. So it's what you put into the engine, not how you use the engine. So it's very important to do some exercise. I don't think exercise is a bad thing, but exercise is certainly not the be-all and end-all of life. It's more about creating balance with exercise, or if you're going to have to do exercise, then it must be resistance training, and it must be cardio, where you chase your pulse rate a little bit. If you can't manage that, or it's not your thing, don't kill yourself about that. Don't see exercise as a punishment for something you ate. It's rather a celebration of what your body can do. So if it's not going to be that for you, I give you off. It's not so bad. Then the last S is about sleep. Sleep's very important. Sounds silly that sleep is important in some, and exercise is not important. So sleep is more important than exercise. It's incredible. It's because we need to reboot. We need to stop being so engaged. We need to, in a natural way, have our 3 hours, our three systems: work, play, sleep. Must be in yin and yang with one another. They've all got to be in equal proportion. If they're not, we're in trouble. And we need to do that. We need to restart, reboot, and reset our minds and our bodies with enough sleep. So there we go. If you want to know more about this and about the science behind it, there's lots and lots of science behind this, and it's very interesting stuff. It's groundbreaking stuff. It's a system that doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't do anything. It just empowers you to be a better you. So, and there's lots of spin-offs of this, is because if you can manage to do these things disciplined, it spills over into your life, spills over into your relationships. You feel better, you look better. What a pleasure. And it's just so doable. It's just so doable. Very excited to be with you and enjoy the journey. And you're very welcome to join us on all our videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification for any new videos that we make. I promised that I would never say that, but I've now said it. And there we go. So nice having you.